I have not recorded a video in so long. Let's see if I still have it. Okay. I want to acknowledge that this is the first video that I'm posting on this account. I have recorded long form videos on a separate channel while I was in grad school, so this is not a new concept for me. It's just I've never sat and talked about books before in this format. So I'm really excited to start this journey with you all. I will say, don't expect consistent posting here. Like, that's not what this is gonna be, respectfully. Booktube is something that I love to watch, but quite frankly, recording and editing videos takes so long, and I'm not sure if I'm fully ready to dedicate consistent time to it. I just like to know that this option is there for me for whenever I do want to do something long form like this, which is what we're doing now. So welcome. So this past Saturday was Independent Bookstore Day, and if you don't know what that is, it's the last Saturday of April, and it's just a day for you to support your local bookstores. Obviously that's something that we should be doing all year long, but Independent Bookstore Day is just a very special day. So a bunch of different independent bookstores in the Chicagoland area, either in the city or the surrounding suburbs, will participate in a book crawl, and basically the goal is for people to go to these independent bookstores, visit as many of them as you can, and if you visit 10 of those participating stores, you get 10% off your purchases for an entire year until the next Independent Bookstore Day, and then if you visit 15 stores, you get 15% off. So this is my first year participating. I feel like every year, at least since I found out about it, I'm always like, oh, I'd love to maybe not do the crawl, but just go to an independent bookstore, and I never would. Like, something would always come up. So at the beginning of this year, I said, I'm gonna go, like, no matter what. I don't care, no excuses. I will be doing the crawl, and that I did. My goal was to go to 10 stores. I ended up visiting a total of 11. All of the bookstores that I visited were just in the city of Chicago. I didn't hit anything in the suburbs, but it was as far north as Logan Square and as far south as, I think it was Jackson Park we were in. So this is the order that I officially went in. I started with Skunk Cabbage Books, then City Lit Books, Open Books Logan Square, Volumes Book Cafe, Quimby's Bookstore, Semicolon Books, Seminary Co-op, 57th Street Books, Powell's, Call and Response, and then I ended at the Book Joint. So that was a long day for me, a very busy day. I got to my first bookstore at around 10:30, and then I think I left, let me double check. The last picture that I took was at 5. It was right before 5. So that was 6.5 hours. Kudos to me. I don't know how I did it, but I did. Also, all of the bookstores were new for me except one. I had never visited any of these bookstores before except for Seminary Co-op. I'm very glad that I had this experience. I feel like it made me really miss living in Chicago. Like, I live in the suburbs now, but I've lived in the South Loop when I was in undergrad, and then I was in Lincoln Park for a year, so like I just miss being in the city. There's so much to do, there's so much to see, just getting on the train, getting on the bus, walking somewhere, like, I don't know. It was just a nice experience, and the weather was so nice yesterday. Like, it was chilly, it was windy for sure, but the sun was out, clear skies, no rain. I feel like that was perfect. If it were warmer, I would have been overstimulated for sure, but it was really great. I was still overstimulated just with all of the everything going on, but it was good. It was a great experience. Of course, I cannot talk about going to bookstores and not have a haul to share with you. I did give myself a limit. I told myself I would only buy 5 books, and I also had specific bookstores that I wanted to purchase books from. I ended up buying 6, I think. I ended up buying 6. I'm saying I think because I don't remember everything that I bought. Unless I'm going for something specific, I like to find things that I have never seen, never heard about. I think it kind of reminds me of when I was a child in like school. I would just walk in the library and pick up books because the cover was pretty and read them. So that's what I like to do when I go into bookstores. So when I'm saying I don't really remember, I don't fully know what I have in my bags. There are 2 books that I remember only because they were books that I knew of beforehand. So those really don't count, but everything else I'm like, When we do this haul, I'm gonna pull the books out and be like, oh, we're gonna figure it out together. I mentioned that like there were specific bookstores that I wanted to buy books from. I didn't want to just go in and like get my stuff stamped and then leave and run away. I did at least want to try to get like a sticker or a bookmark or try to support the bookstores in any way monetarily. There were some stores that I don't know, in my mind, like I didn't pick anything up to buy, but I definitely walked around every single bookstore. I kind of just browsed and saw what was there. Like, yes, they're all bookstores, but a lot of the places had very different like vibes. Quimby's specifically sticks out to me because there were a lot of zines there. Powell's was all like nonfiction or academic books, which is really cool to look at. Those are the two that to me I was like, oh, I've never been in a bookstore quite like this before. I did walk around all of the bookstores. I took pictures of a lot of books that like looked interesting, added things to my TBR, of course. I think I left with at least something from every bookstore, whether or not it was a freebie. A lot of places did have like free bookmarks or free stickers, and if not, at least a stamp. I think I'm gonna go through all of like the bookmark stickers, postcards that I got. I will try to say where I got them from, but again, I don't remember where I got everything from, and I also didn't get bags for any place except for call and response. So yeah, we're gonna do a rapid fire of everything, and then if I can remember where I got it from, I'll let you know. Also, sorry, I can't believe I didn't show y'all this, but this is the passport that we got at the very first bookstore that you go to. They have them at every single one. Once you go to specific bookstores, you get them stamped. These are all of the stamps that I got. I got to 11, like I said, not to 15, and then there is a little I Spy game too that was happening. Okay, but back to the haul. Starting off with stickers, I think I remember where most of these were from. The first is this Support Independent Bookstores sticker. It's from Volumes Book Cafe. I only know it because it says it on the back of this. And then next is I Heart My Indie Bookstore. I think this was from Volumes as well. And then I got this Swamp Princess Dochi sticker. I like immediately picked it up because it's so cute. I don't remember where this is from though. And then the last sticker sheet are these cute animations. I got this from City Lit Books. Next I have two postcards. One, I feel like it's from Open Books, only because it just says open and then books, but I'm also not entirely sure. The second one is very obviously from City Lit Books because that's what it says on here. I got quite a few bookmarks. Some of these are from specific stores. Other ones, I think I got one at a vendor when I was at Semicolon. They had like a whole street festival going on, so they had vendors set up, and there was an author there, so I think that's what this is from, if I'm remembering correctly. There's one about Libro FM, and then I have one from 57th Street Books, Open Books, Volumes Book Cafe, and then the Book Joint, which is a magnetic bookmark. And then the last few things before we get into books are like very all random. Skunk Cabbage Books was giving out native seeds. It came with a like zine, a guide, a very brief guide to native seeds, and I am the worst at keeping plants alive, but I got an ivy plant a few months ago, or maybe a few weeks ago, a little over a month, and she's surviving. She's doing really good. Like, I feel very proud of what is going on, so I'm like, I can accept maybe planting more seeds. So I got common milkweed. It just looks very pretty. I'm gonna show you a picture. The next thing I got was a pocket notebook from the Book Joint. I have been recently just obsessed with traveler's notebooks, so I've been buying a lot of like mini notebooks, things that you can put in a traveler's notebook, and this is really cute. It has a bunch of Black figures on here: Audre Lorde, Ida B. Wells, Frederick Douglass, Lorraine Hansberry. Like, it's really cute. The last thing I got was also from the Book Joint. It's this like car freshener. I forgot what the scent was called, but if I did, I would tell you. It smells so good. I couldn't live without it, quite frankly. I don't have a car, so I'm just gonna figure out somewhere in my apartment to hang this up. Now for the books that I got, I bought 6 new books, and we're gonna talk about them together. My first 2 books are from Semicolon. I got Friday Black, which is a collection of short stories by kwame, adjei-brenyah. I had read Chain Gang All-Stars by him, and it is fantastic. I think about that book all the time. I've seen the cover of this, but I never realized that this was the author who also wrote Chain Gang All-Stars, so this is not fully new to me. I just put 2 and 2 together while I was browsing. And then the second is the Unsettled by Ayana Mathis. The cover alone it did it for me. It was just like calling my name when I saw it. I feel like I say this often, but I hate knowing anything about a book, so I can't really tell you what this is about other than the cover is really pretty. So if you have read this, let me know what you think about it. The second place that I got books from was 57th Street Books. I got Tempest by Beverly Jenkins. I have been wanting to read a Beverly Jenkins book for a while, so I saw a few of her books there. This was the title that I was most familiar with, so I picked it up. Oh, and here's another postcard. So I'm gonna add that to my postcard collection. The last 3 books came from Call and Response, which now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure I have another sticker and bookmark in there. Just a little bit of backstory. I think when Call and Response maybe first opened, I would see their videos all the time on TikTok, and it was like Black woman-owned bookstore in Chicago. I'm like, yes, I need to go. I need to visit one day, but it just felt like, you know, life just be life in, and I just never could actually plan to go, or whenever I did plan to go, just something would come up. But somehow Courtney, the owner of Call and Response Books, and I became mutuals on Threads sometime last year, and that was even more motivation for me to go because I know who owns the bookstore. So I finally got to meet Courtney. It was really great just being in that space. This was literally my priority bookstore that I was going to buy books from. I have bought books from them directly online. I have selected them as my indie bookstore on Bookshop, on Libro FM. So I have been supporting in other ways, just never in the store physically, which I could finally do. It's so gorgeous in there. If you are ever in Hyde Park, you should go visit. It's beautiful. Music selection was elite. Literally Solange came on and I was like, this is where I need to be. Call and Response was actually my 10th bookstore, so I got the 10% off of all participating bookstores in the Chicagoland Indie Bookstore Crawl. So shout out Courtney. Hi, if you're watching this. I feel like both of us were exhausted by the time I got there. It was around 3 o'clock, so she had been literally working all day. I had been running around the city all day. Please go visit Call and Response. Quite frankly, visit all of these bookstores because they were all fantastic. But enough yapping, let's see what's in this bag. The first thing we have is The Vanished Birds by Simon Jiminez. Just recently I bought The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jiminez. I have not read that one yet, but that one was highly recommended. There was a recommendation card attached to this book, and I vaguely remember it mentioning something about science fiction, which is a genre that I'm trying to read more of. I am excited to start this one. Maybe soon, but soon for a reader, it could mean anything. Next we have How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney. This is the July-August book pick for my book club Freedom Readers, which plug if you like nonfiction books or if you want to read more nonfiction books specifically related to political education, you should join. We're currently finishing Black Disability Politics by Sammy Shock. In May and June, we'll be reading Reclaiming Our Space by Feminista Jones, and then you can pick up How Europe Underdeveloped Africa and read that with us too. And then the last book that we have is To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Moniquill, Blackgoose, Moniquill. I've never heard this author before, so I was just in love with this cover and I was looking at the book, and then some person literally walks up to me and points to it and they're like, this book was so amazing, you have to read it, you have to get it. And I was like, okay, sold, great. You don't have to tell me twice. I'm pretty sure it's a fantasy book. It definitely has to do with dragons, so I am excited to figure out what this is about. Last 2 things, obviously not books. I got a sticker of this girl carrying books because mood, and then this bookmark with stencils of I'm gonna say black people with like different hairstyles. But that is the end of my haul. That is every single thing that I got yesterday at the Chicagoland independent bookstore crawl. I am so happy. Actually, no, that's not everything that I got. I'm gonna show you the very thing that I did this for. I am officially a 10 store champ.
It's official. I am now licensed!
I now have 10% off until April 25th, 2026, which is now more of an excuse for me to buy more books and visit independent bookstores. I would absolutely 100% recommend every single bookstore that I went to, the ones that I didn't go to, and any independent bookstore that is closest to you. It's better than any other option you have to buy books from. Cough, cough, wink, wink. Thank you for listening to me yap about books, about my time running around Chicago. I had such a good time, and if you made it to the end of this video, leave a comment below what your favorite independent bookstore is. Keep that thing on me.